Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amrit, and you are watching Gen Z Unfiltered. TC San is live on Facebook and YouTube from Monday to Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Before I introduce the topic, I would like to play you a message from our weekly sponsor. Today, we will talk about the farmers' protests and what the youth perspective on them is. I welcome Ishkirat to the screen now. Hi, Ishkirat.
Hi, Amrit.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just a little overwhelmed and feeling heavy from the past events.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive right in, I guess. The Kisan movement. So it's been going on for a couple of months now. It's been a while. The Dilli Chalo movement has been going on for about 2 months as well. I want you to tell me a little bit about your personal story with the protests and how you got involved.
Well, my family on both my mom's and dad's side are farmers, and every time that I've visited India, I've definitely I've went and seen them and the struggle they go through to just make sure that the people of India are getting the food. Personally, my story with them is I'm not only emotionally connected with the family I have back home, but also with the fact that they're humans and they are not being treated very right now. And it's not good to see that the people who put food on our table are having to suffer in the cold down in the streets of Delhi, just trying to peacefully protest. My involvement hasn't been too great. The most I've been able to do is share and raise awareness using my Instagram. And of course, it's not a lot, but just that little bit helps, knowing that my friends are aware of what's happening so that they can share further with others what is happening. What about you? How have you been involved with the farmers' protests so far?
Yeah, I agree with what you said about sharing the word and just like realizing that they're humans too, right? Like this is a struggle for all of us, not just the Kisan. And so, so I got involved. So when I first learned about them, I was just like learning, like I was reading about it and I was watching social media and videos and I was looking at posts that other people had shared because I didn't really know much about it at first. But when I got the basic details of what it is, I started sharing on social media as well. I created my own posts. I even wrote a few poems about it. I went to a TV channel to talk about it, actually. I talked to my families and relatives and asked questions. And yeah, my involvement hasn't been that deep either, but I've been just trying to do my part and get involved in whatever way I can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you hear about them, actually, the movement and the bills?
Well, we always have Indian news channels playing in our home. And that's when I started to pick up little bits and parts of it and seeing the farmers protesting. So I asked my parents what is happening, and they were sharing some information. And soon or later, when the protests started picking up some momentum, Instagram posts started to become a lot more popular, especially during like the Dilli Chalo movement. Specifically, then social media was blowing up with a lot of information about what's happening. And that's when I really started to see the severity of the issue. Because when they were just in their own states, like, yes, you understand that this is not good, but when they see that we cannot just keep this within our states and that we need help, it really hits at a different part. So first I started hearing from this news, I asked my parents, and then Instagram for me has been a major source, especially accounts such as Sikh Expo, which have been sharing huge amounts of information and experiences from the farmers.
Yeah, that's great. I think I got most of my information from social media as well, specifically Instagram. But yeah, my parents watch Punjabi news channels all the time, so I got some information from there too. And my team at Progressive Cultural Association Calgary taught me a little bit about it because we did a protest/rally in October, and so I had to learn about it for that. Are you interested in learning more, though? And if you are, then what kinds of things do you want to learn?
I certainly want to learn a lot more about what's happening, starting from the deep experiences of the farmers, why they are against the bill. And I also want to hear the government perspective. I want to see that why they think that the implementation of these bills is actually more beneficial for the farmers than the farmers are claiming.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to learn too. I want to learn a little bit more about the details and the why behind the bills. And I want to learn more about the history of the movement as well. Because as I've seen on social media, it goes back a long time, right? Connected to 1984 and everything following that and the Green Revolution. And I just want to know the whole story and see where it really came from.
Yeah, because we see what is happening, but without understanding the why, I don't think anybody stands on the safe ground of creating an opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So how has this whole movement, so all the TV that you've been watching, the social media, the news, how has this made you feel?
I feel first off awful for the people who are at the protests, who have to face such horrible things. I saw this video where somebody spent a day at the farmers' protest on the Delhi border, and they went through the recent rally that just happened on the 26th, and seeing the horrific things that the people are going through, especially with the weather being so cold right now. And just their journey, just getting from their states to Delhi, was definitely not one of safety. So seeing that makes me feel really bad, and I feel so helpless that I'm sitting here and I can't do anything to ease their pain even the slightest bit.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's heartbreaking to see, right? Like they've been out there for months and months in this cold weather, and they're trying to spark change. For me personally, it's been quite eye-opening because, as you know, in school, every year we learn about different historical events and movements and revolutions, and it's like, oh, okay, all of that happened in the past, but to actually live through a revolution and a pandemic, it's astounding, right? Like it really makes you think like, oh my God, like we just learned about all these people making change, but here we are now doing that ourselves, right? So yeah, it's just been big, I guess.
I will have to say the resilience of the people who are fighting definitely makes me very proud to know that I belong to such a group of people.
Yeah, definitely. So just to end it off here today, I want to ask you if you have a message for our peers and our fellow Generation Z.
Definitely. I know we don't feel put in a place where we can do much, but spreading awareness is huge, especially to our other friends who might not be aware of it. And always remembering that our roots do go back home, and the people and the things that the people at the protests are doing are for us and for the next generation. So the slightest we can do is help them just by spreading their message.
Yeah, definitely. Adding on to yours, I just want to say, wake up, right? Like, wake up. Yeah. We are literally living through a revolution. So if now is not the time to act, then when is, right? I just want to say, like, don't miss the opportunities right in front of you, right? Like, this is our time to shine and to stand with our culture and our families. And we're Gen Z, we're the next generation, as you said. And so the future of this world falls on us, right? On our shoulders. And so I guess it's in the best interest of for us to get up and actually do something right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you, Ashkirat, for joining me today. We will be back next week with a new topic on Gen Z Unfiltered. Good night.